before I get started, pay special attention to Sione Yates. She's actually a current law student at the Cumberland School of Law. She's not going to like me shouting her out, but I'm going to do it anyway. She is assisting me today and has been job shadowing me as I put together a CLE for name, image, and likeness on a sports-related CLE for lawyers. So if you have anybody in the industry that is battling with name, image, and likeness concerns, she is actually helping me put the presentation together for that and do the research behind it. But she has been asking for opportunities to shadow, and I am definitely open to giving those. I just want to give her flowers while she's doing awesome work. We couldn't get the presentation on the screen for y'all for whatever reason, but there is QR codes everywhere, all of my presentations, so you all should have it on your phone. If you don't, Sione is walking around with the actual QR code. So all you got to do is scan it with your camera phone. If you have an issue, you know, I figure it out. But please make sure you're following along with the presentation. It's very, very critical. So before we get started, I just want to put hands up, raise if you've ever received funding or business funding from a company as a grant. And I should really see a lot of people because you all applied for EIDL and PPP funding. So if you have, raise your hand. Go ahead. I'm not going to tell the IRS if you don't. They can't see you. Alrighty, wonderful. So if you did apply for funding, did you receive the funding? And if you didn't, this is more than likely why you didn't receive the funding. A lot of the companies, when they are looking to fund you, including the government, they are looking for specific documentation in your business. One, proof of ownership. So you have to have a document that says that you are the true owner, which is called a certificate of formation. You usually get that when you create your business, right? And if you're in Alabama, which most of you are, but if you're creating businesses in other states, you have to get it from the Secretary of State of that state. Whatever is online is the only record, right, of who owns what in your business. So if you don't start, right, owning your business, or you did something through LegalZoom and now you're not sure what you own, right, because I run into a lot of people, you'll end up having that issue later on, right, when they're looking for ownership of who owns the company. The second part, right, is after you get your ownership paperwork, you have to have rules for your business. So who has an operating agreement for their business ready? Anybody? All right, thank you for raising your hand, and just for raising your hand today. If you'll send it to our firm, I'll look it over for free, just for you being an active participant. But if you want to, it's up to you. But if you want to look at it, I'll check it out, let you know what's good, let you know what's missing. Operating agreements are the way the company sees how you conduct business when there are issues in the business. For example, has anyone ever had a company member or owner that you really wanted out your company because they're not making good decisions? Anybody? No? Y'all all go into business. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that, Kashif. Everybody thank Kashif for the food. It's always amazing and always A1, so make sure y'all eat very good tonight. But if you guys have those business owners, that's called some type of push out or buyout of your share of interest. If you don't have that reflected in an agreement, which is really just, you know, a contract between you two, then you're going to basically have to go to court to figure it out. And who wants to go to court to figure out every time they want to get rid of somebody in their business? Anybody? All right. Now, have you guys ever split a business 50-50 and then regretted it later because the other 50 didn't want to agree with you? Okay, so look, this is the issues because a lot of people, when they go and they seek these services online, a lot of online sources, they take advantage of it, right? It's not that you guys aren't smart or very proficient in business. They take advantage of the fact that you don't know that there are going to be issues that come on down the road, right? You might want to dissolve the company. You might not want to work together ever again. And you got to go to court if the other party doesn't want to agree to your terms. And when you have that issue, the 50-50 split, I'm going to tell you right now, stop doing that. Okay? It's 51-49. If somebody needs to have a majority, the reason being is that most of the times if you're doing business, and this is smart business, my fellas and my females, if y'all out here doing business with a woman and the business has a woman and a man owner, you should definitely have the 51% belong to the person who you want to get on the grants. Well, if a female minority business owner is a 51% owner on your business, guess what? There's more grants that she's available for, and that's a requirement for all of the grants and companies that are looking to fund majority-owned female businesses. So if your company is 50-50, is it majority-owned? It's not, right? So 5149 is a better split, and it allows for you guys to have a lot more grant opportunities than you do right now because you haven't done 50-50. So I get it. It's nice to have everything 50-50, but it's also nice to be able to apply for grants that you should be eligible for, right? And so if you're not, definitely let me know. So we ain't even got to my presentation yet. These are just things you need to know, right? Before you get into pitching any company, you need to ask yourself, do you have these documents? Because I'm going to hold you accountable in a second. So if you already got my presentation pulled up and you don't scan through, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. But what I want you to understand is these are two basic documents that most people don't have. They don't have their certificate of formation, they don't know what their EIN number is, and they don't have an operating agreement for their business. So when the PPP asks you for those things, you know what you do? Well, I'm going to go find something online. Who done found something on Google? They pulled it up there, uploaded it for the PPP application, and now you got your money, yeah? Everybody isn't fooled by that. The big funders, the big money dogs that you're looking for, they're not fooled by that. They want to know that your stuff is ironclad. And they're going to ask you about what happens when somebody buys into your business. Can they sell the shares of your company? If they're an owner, can I sell my shares to another person in my family? There are restrictions within operating agreements that will allow you to actually control what happens. One in particular, that you do not have to share your interest. So you don't have to make sure that your interests are shareable. You don't have to allow people to share their interest. So if they leave the company, that's it. You ain't got no interest. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. So you have to make sure that you're clear with people because they don't necessarily know. All right, so keep that in mind and make sure that you're taking those next steps, right, to have these initial documents before we ever get to the pitch, okay? So when we get to the pitch, right, the pitch that I want to talk to you guys about, there's a first slide in mind. There's 3 things that I have in there, and then the closing. Now, this is done by a Harvard Business Review about most areas where you guys are actually missing, right, your pitch conversation or your pitch opportunity for your business. So one area is that you don't actually own it, right? So who actually trademarks their business on a regular basis? Well, a lot of big companies with money, okay? Because they got it, they can do it, and Starbucks and Disney combined have about 1,000 applications that they have filed. 200 are still live on Starbucks and about 500 are still live for Disney. But that means that every single time they file an application, they pay the filing fee. The filing fee for a standard application for a trademark is $350. $350 times 1,000 is a whole lot of money, okay? So these companies that do have their stuff protected have a bunch of stuff protected. And you want to know why they can sue you for trademark infringement later? Because they have a whole bunch of stuff protected. So if you want to make sure that you're getting into the room or you're the shark in the room, you got to think like the big companies think. Starbucks has every variation of their logo protected by trademark. Starbucks has every item on their menu protected by trademark. Starbucks has so many different things protected by trademark. Crayon case by Supercent that made $1 million in 90 minutes is protected by trademark with her logo. If you are a black-owned business and you don't have something protected by trademark, that might be the first place you need to start. Before you start pitching these companies, because they will steal. Disney is in issues with people that they have definitely got a pitch from somebody, and then all of a sudden Disney came up with something similar. Someone in Canada is suing them right now for the movie Inside Out. Don't believe me? Look it up when you leave. So if you are pitching the companies and you don't own the trademark, you're telling the company you don't even believe in the longevity of your product. Because a trademark is actually supposed to communicate that you're going to build a brand that's long-term, lifelong, and continuous forever. Alright? So if you ain't thinking about forever with your business, you got commitment problems with your business, don't do a trademark. I'm not going to take your money, and I don't want to take your money if you're not going to put all the time that you need to in making sure your business is a brand that's protected. And neither will the company that you're asking for money. Alright? But after you get there, they do a deal sourcing or pitching audit of your business. So who's heard of this name, pitch deck? Who's heard of it? You guys know? You heard the word before, pitch deck? No? Alright, so pitch deck is literally an overview of your business. What is your business? What do you provide? How do you measure it? How can you prove to an investor, if I give you money, that you're going to turn around and flip the money? If you can't flip the money, how can you show that there are enough people who are interested in their target demographic that they would actually want to invest with you so they can grow your company to the next level? And how much money have you generated since the beginning of your company? $5,000, $50,000, $500,000. I will tell you, if you're in the $50,000, $5,000 range, good luck, okay? They're not trying to fund you if you've only made about $50,000 in a year. I'm telling you right now, there are some companies that are exceptions, but there are a lot of companies that they are waiting to see the traction, right? They're waiting to see $10,000, $50,000, $500,000 so they can make money off of you, because everybody's in a business to make money at some point, right? So if you're getting an investor to work with you, you're also showing them that they're going to make money off of every sale, off of doing a deal with you from the investor agreement, okay? When you do that, your pitch has to be solid. You have to tell a story. How many times have you actually built out the story of your business? Can you tell me the story? I'm going to put somebody on the spot in about 2 seconds, so don't you wait, just wait on it. Because whoever does it well, I will let you into a class that I have exclusively to help you build that, okay? But my thing is, I want you to pitch your company. Tell me the story. Make me care. I have money. I don't have money, but I will have money, okay? So I have the money. I want to care about your product. Make the money not even matter. Make the product that you're selling so valuable that people want to give you the money. Okay? They're like, here, take my money, right? You got people coming up with solutions every day, and you want to give them your money. How many times have you, I got long nails, so my ladies, I know you can understand, have trouble pulling that card out the thing, trying to, okay, there's a girl, she created a little clamp thing, and to pull it out there for you, it attached your key ring. Girl, I was ready to give her my money that day. I don't even know her, right? But issues that people are really having will get you to the money, okay? So if you have those solutions and you can pitch it that way, and you can sell the story and make people care. I tell people I created a line, right? And my line is a school supply line that's for kids of color, because there are people out here who got school supplies that don't ever look like them. They got white people on their stuff. They don't ever, that's not their child. All right, so I created a line to do that. I went through the process of trademarking my stuff before I started pitching it, really. And I almost gave up on the trademark, y'all. But then I tried one more time, because my mentor said, girl, just fight it one more time. I know she's being difficult, but just try it out. And when I did, it moved on to the next stage of the trademark. And it was really difficult because the examiner was not very nice, and she kind of made it very difficult for me to do it. And I'm an attorney. So imagine it's you trying to care about your business and protect it for the first time, and someone says, no, you didn't do something right. You missed something. You didn't do this right. But I was doing that with my own business. And I can tell you that it's hard, but I can tell you that I cared enough about it not to give up on it. And if that's you in your business, then you got to make a story that feels like that. You should feel those tingly feelings after you tell your story. Like, ooh, like I'm feeling it right now when I'm telling you this story, because it's real. It's coming from my heart, and it's something I'm speaking, and hopefully it's speaking to your soul, right? And then due diligence, y'all. Y'all ready to be audited? Y'all keep on talking about the IRS. Who's scared of the IRS? Tell me right now. If you are ready for the IRS to look at your books, let me know. Anybody? All right, he ready. Okay, we gonna talk. All right, okay, you ready too. So if you ready for the IRS to look at your books, cool. If you not, that means you ain't doing something right, which means you need to talk to an LP like Paul, get your business ethics in order so you get your shit together, okay? Sorry, y'all, I'm cursing, but I'm real. All right, so I would tell you guys this. Most people fail there. Not being ready, right? You don't have your stuff together. You don't have your financials in order. You don't have a plan for growth, accelerated growth, or even close to accelerated growth. And the last thing is you're not able to close your presentation. Closing, right, after they make you an offer is the hardest part. And I'm going to show you 3 closing stories, right, that did not happen or that might not happen the same way that you think, okay? So we're going to talk about the closing stories, but in the presentation, on the last section of this second page, there is a QR code that you can scan, right, that shows you what's missing from your closing, how you're not able to close the deal, and how you can get better at closing your deal from articles that I found online from verified sources. Now, you can Google all this stuff, but I went and I looked for actual quality information for you all. So what I'm telling you is that with closing, That means that you're able to say, hey, look, investor man, I know that you have all of these issues and concerns. Let me go ahead and answer some questions, because these are some common questions that people have, and we're ready to get started. You put them on a schedule. You give them a schedule to get everything signed in writing and inked. That's where most people fail. They don't actually put that situation in place. So you got investors, money on the table, I'm ready to invest in you, and you don't close the deal. Why? We don't get into the why. Because these people, and they're not here, right? They're in another country. They're in UK, but this could easily be you. And business and money goes global. So you can go pay money pretty much anywhere and get an exchange, okay? So, for the first story, y'all, there was a couple. They were told that their idea in the Dragon's Den in the UK, it was ridiculous, right? They actually now receive the top investment from this company. Dragon's Den is just like our version of Shark Tank. They now are the top investment choice for two dragons that definitely call their business ridiculous. Okay? What I'm telling you is that your company has value. People will call your idea ridiculous until you figure out how to sell it, pitch it, and bring it to the level where it can make you money. Okay? So you're going to run into people who call your stuff ridiculous, right? You're also going to be called delusional. So the next one I'm going to tell you, there's like 3 friends, they wanted to get into business, do some pasta classes, teach people how to do pasta, and they were called delusional. Now, in about 2 years, they made 14 million euros after they were told they were being delusional. It's all about ideas for growth, acceleration, and if you start showing these companies you're profitable, not only will you make the 14 million, but now they're going to try to give you more than 14 million. You might hear the word billion and trillion, but you can't get there if you let everybody who calls your product delusional, not well done, allow you not to keep continuing, okay? Every time I get told no for any pitch competition, any pitch, anything, I always ask them why. What can I do better? Where can I improve on my pitch deck? What can I do to better serve you so I can apply next year? And I create long-lasting relationships with the companies that I am pitching. You should not ask people for favors that you are not taking the time to develop real relationships with. Money is a favor, okay? Whatever y'all can think it is, it's a favor. And if you haven't cultivated a relationship with the person you're asking for money from, how do you think these people be on the green, on the golf course, getting money? They developed a relationship doing stuff like that. Then they asked for the money. They took the time to take the relationship to the next level before they made the ask. And a lot of us don't make that ask. We pitch dry, we see the first link online, and we submit our business right away. And sometimes it works. But sometimes, right, you would have a much better chance if you develop a relationship with them. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, right? The last thing I want to tell you guys, and this is from Shark Tank, okay? 73% of the public deals that y'all saw on Shark Tank were different than what they got behind the scenes. That's that closing thing we're talking about. They didn't have the same deals. It broke down in negotiations. It didn't work out. So everything you see on TV is not necessarily reality. These companies actually said that the publicity is worth more than the actual deal. But if you don't have something worth publicizing, right, then it's not worth going on Shark Tank. So yeah, maybe they'll call your deal ridiculous. Maybe they'll even give you a deal. But you might make millions of dollars if you do it correctly, right, just by going on Shark Tank. But if you think like that, then your goal isn't really to get a shark to invest in you. It's to put yourself in front of a wider casted audience so that the sharks and the people who watch Shark Tank who also have money can maybe invest in you. So that is what a lot of contestants said. It is worth more, right, to get the publicity than it is to actually get the deals from the sharks, because they want to make money. They out here trying to get equity in your company. You hear them making them deals. Some of them company offers that they give people who look like us is not necessarily equal, okay? But we'll talk about that another day. All right, so I want you guys to use the pitch opportunity to get the much needed advertisement for your company. Your goal for your pitch needs to change. Stop thinking, oh, it'd be so great if I got this money. You know what? It'd be so great if you formed a relationship with the company that has this money, and maybe they'll bring your company on in the future as a partner. Okay? Start changing the way you think about pitching, and you'll be able to pitch more effectively, and you won't be like a beggar. You hate when people beg you for money. It just don't feel right? If I said, pay me for my trademarks right now, pay me for my trademarks right now, like I just kept saying that and just book a consult, you would be like, girl, I ain't gonna talk to you, because all you're trying to do is sell me something. You hate those people. Like, you got friends like that. Every time, damn, he about to give me a multi-level marketing plan again, golly. What you selling this week? What is it? All right, so when you have the opportunity, you build relationships with these companies. The companies will invest back into you when they see you making meaningful use of the free resources and the tools they're providing. One prime example of this, and this is directly from one of the vice presidents at a major bank company, they like it when you utilize their free resources in your community projects. Even for-profit companies, they will fund through community grants, okay? And if you need to know what company this is, talk to me afterwards. I'll tell you exactly who it is, exactly what you need to do. There's a link, I even send it to you. I'm not into hiding information, but they want you to make the relationship with them and include their resources in what you provide to the community. And if you do it, it's completely free, the resources they have. They will work with you, and they will remember you when it comes time for your application. And I filled out your application, and there are 20 plus questions in there about how I have connections to that bank. What do? I have a banking relationship there? Do I actually work with that company? If you are seeing those questions in your proposal and your applications for funding, then maybe you should start making the relationships with the banks that are around you. Banks have money, y'all. They have community grant funds. We just don't know about them, right? Because we never thought, oh, I could just ask the bank for something that's not a loan. They have community grants. They actually fund things in the community. If you see any of the banks that are big here in Birmingham, right, you see them on every event. How are they on every event? Because they fund for-profit businesses, okay? They don't just fund for non-profit businesses. That's where a lot of people get misconstrued. You just have to have a pitch. You have to know what they're looking for, and you have to figure out how to be inclusive as a leader, okay? So, let's talk about it. The deal sourcing, okay? The things that are missing, right? No one's talking about return on investments, okay? 0% of the application includes how they're going to get a return on their investment. The other part of the return on your investment is stewardship. No one's trusted you with money yet, so why would I trust you with money? You ain't got no proof. You're asking me for money for the first time, and no one's giving you any money. Why would I do it? This is what they do to eliminate you before you even get to the pitch deck process. If you answer some questions, and y'all know, because you applied, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry to inform you, you didn't get it. It's because your application was more than likely missing how they can make money and if anybody's ever trusted you with money, okay? Strong relationships. The first time you applied for a pitch, this is the first time you've ever talked to that company. You never tagged them on social media. You don't connect with them. You don't know none of their programs. You don't know what none of their values are. You've never aligned yourself with that business and put yourself in the shoes of what they actually need. And so your pitch reflects that because you have nothing in alignment with their core values. You just applying because they got money available, and they don't like that. It doesn't make them feel good, right? Would you like somebody to come to your business and be like, yeah, I'm going to just spend some money, but I don't really, care. At some point, you want clients that actually like the way that you work. You want clients that like the way that you do things because it's unique, it's different, right? And you want to feel that way as a business owner. I know I like it when my clients come back and tell me, girl, you need to take our consultations and put them online because, girl, you were just making this easy. I try really hard to make sure that my clients and me are accessible to one another and being on the same level. And if we're not there, I'll figure out a solution. I'm not finna put it past you, okay? And then relevant to their needs. What needs do they have? What areas are they lacking? I would literally go on people's websites and look at their upcoming programs, and if it says to be determined or in the process, I noticed that you have this thing on your website where, I actually specialize in X, Y, Z. Start forming those connections. There are new businesses working on advising businesses in Birmingham, popping up all over Birmingham. Y'all know the Birmingham Black Business Alliance is here, but they also have a Birmingham Business Alliance here. They have a Prosper Alliance. They have all these different business advisory companies that you could be a part of the conversation if you include yourself in asking in the early beginning stages, because they're just starting. So there's no way for you to have had a relationship with them before. So you have a better chance, right? So you look for new growing companies that tend to be getting millions of dollars from the city to come to the city because they got money to spend and they need some help, okay? So after that, we're talking about the pitching, okay? 100% of the questions that you are answering in your pitch are usually bad. About 100%. The reason why is you're not asking from the perspective of a target person. You need to be asking from the perspective of a target investor. This isn't your target market. We're not pitching to our target market. That's who we're selling to. But a lot of times you're answering questions that your target consumer wants. You need to ask questions that your target investor wants. What's the risks? What happens if this? If somebody ever sued you before, do you own the trademark copyright for everything? And if you're not asking those questions and answering those questions with clarity, they can't trust you. There are pitch competitions all the time that when they get up there and they start asking them questions, they don't really have a good answer, or it's not really well thought out and developed. So if you have these ideas, you've got to flesh them out, which is writing them down, which I'm about to make you do in a second. All right? You didn't usually consider the risk. 100% of the time, you didn't consider the risk. And if you didn't consider the risk, they can read it in your presentation. You never talk about what happens if this price goes up. You never talked about taxes. You never talked about the cost-benefit analysis. You never did a break-even analysis. And all these are words above my pay grade, right? The break-even analysis, all that means is what it costs you to make the product, what it costs, and people are buying the product, and then doing the difference and the average of that. So if you can figure out how much it costs you to make it, and then what you sell it for, that's your profit, that's your break even. At what point will you break even? Do you have to sell 10 items? Do you have to sell 1,000 items before you can actually start making money? And that's really important for investors, and a lot of us don't answer it because we don't even know about it. But it's called a break-even formula. You need the words, that's it. They got free break-even calculators online, and they will even explain the other terms about how to find the numbers, okay? And the last thing, it's not novel. It's not unique. How many nail salons are we going to create before you realize you can't keep calling it nail salon, okay? You got to do something different. It's got to be a nail experience, a nail something. Nail on the go, nail in your car, okay? Nail in the chair, something. You got to do something different. And if you're not doing something different, that means you didn't research the market that's out there. If you search for your product on Google and you can find it, guess what? That means somebody else can find it, which means someone else funded it, and it probably already exists, okay? So making it unique is important, and unique is also marketable. Okay, so if you can't actually create the item that you're trying to sell them, which is called a minimum viable product, or MVP, then you are not actually producing something that they can see it working. If you don't have a wait list of people on pre-orders waiting to order your product, you don't have nothing to produce to show that there's interest in what you've created. They want to see these things, okay? And I'll share with you something I got from a personal one, because you know I got rejected again. But I asked, and they sent me a nice little detailed list of things that I can fix, right? The next thing I want y'all to do, this is your elevator pitch template, okay? So in this presentation, I'm not gonna call on nobody and put you on the spot or nothing, but I want an elevator pitch, okay? The way that you format it is in the presentation. It's also on the screen in front of you. I want you to ask a question, empathize the question, pivot to your sales point, add the value. So, there is an example in front of you. I'll give you about 20 or so seconds to get it together. Yeah, 20 seconds. I think that's a good amount of time, because that's all you're going to have on the elevator, because it's called an elevator pitch for a reason. So get your stuff together. And the first person to raise their hand, let me know. More people can go, but I want you to pitch your business. If you raise your hand that you have a business, I would really like to hear about your business in 30 seconds or less. Okay, raise your hand, sir. You gotta ask a question. You gotta empathize with the person that you're pitching to, pivot it, and then add value to my life. I'm on the elevator. I'm trying to get to work. Now, what you want?
Hey, come back to me.
Okay, that's why I want to make y'all great. So I got to push you to be great by asking you the hard questions. All right, you got to ask questions that people can relate to, right? How many times have you guys felt like you just gonna turn this business stuff away and you just go out there and be a dancer? Anybody just want to just give it all up? They make a lot of money, okay? I'm just saying. But people answer that question, right? I'm just saying. The reason why you don't get people hooked is because you're not asking the right questions. If you ask the right questions, you'll get anybody in any elevator or any room listening to what you got to say. So what questions y'all got? Come on. Ask me a good question and keep it. Go ahead, Chicago. There come my student from last time. There's Chicago. Appreciate you. Come on back now.
Have you ever had an allergic reaction to a skincare product?
I haven't, but tell me more.
Well, unlike many, some people have very sensitive skin. So NK Home Remedies decided to create products with ingredients that you can pronounce that are non-toxic. Most are edible and safe for the whole family. Would you like to give it a try?
I really like that, Chicago. I'm gonna come back to you. Anybody else? I'm gonna break down what she did in a second. It was very meticulously done. I feel like you've been listening since last time and really been working on the things I told you. It's crazy what happens when I do the stuff. On Clubhouse, a lady said this, and I'm just borrowing it from the lady. Her name is Anna on Instagram. But 50 hours into your business planning it before you start doing anything else. If you're not planning your business for 50 hours before you start, then more than likely you're going to have a rough time when you finish, because you're going to finish early or you ain't going to finish it all. So if you're not spending 50 hours with your business to really think out your dream, then maybe, just maybe, the business ain't what you're passionate about. There's something in there attached to it that you need to focus on. And you're too hyper-focused on everything, so you can't get to where you want to go. So if you hyper-focus, spending 50 hours trying to really develop, why am I doing this? Why do I get up every day and make leisure wear? I'm not picking on you, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you. But why do I get up every day? And when you figure out why you get up every day and do it, you can tell anybody. You can make them care. They will care once you figure out the why. Okay, go ahead, I see you.
Well, I just want to ask a question.
Go ahead, that's it. Please interrupt me, y'all.
Is it important to have a business that provides a service that pretty much everyone could utilize or need?
So I'm gonna ask you a question back. Now, is everybody gonna buy from Walmart? Is everybody gonna buy from Target? So they are marketing to a particular type of consumer. You need to market to a particular type of consumer that will buy your product, because it will have more success if it's targeted to a particular type. Sure, people outside your target market will come, but I don't like going to Walmart, okay? If I need a deal, I go to Walmart, fine, but I like Target, it's got better customer service, and for some reason, y'all is always quiet in Target. Y'all ever notice that? They don't make no noises. I'm just saying, the store it's literally crazy.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think they teach that in the company handbook. They got
That's too true.
But what I would say is, you don't want everybody to be your business person. I don't want all the clients of trademarks in the world. I would love to work with most people, but I hand select and hand pick my clients. Okay, the reason why is I want to be in alignment with you, and I want you to want to do business with me. And that's the way that your business should operate. And if you have that business mindset, then you will attract the type of value that you bring to the table and the type of clients that you want to work with. But if you're working with everybody, nobody money matter, you're going to end up having a bunch of different people supporting something they don't really even understand. And that's fine, right? It makes you a lot of money quickly. But you can do that in your other business, okay? But the business that you get up every day for, the one that you care about, you should really want to target somebody.
It's not going to make you have repeat customers.
It's not. And that's really where the money is. The money resides in the repeat customers, okay? Absolutely. It's repeat customers, okay? Absolutely. People come back to Target because they like the experience. People come back to Chick-fil-A, as LP like Paul said, because they like the Chick-fil-A experience. They're going to come back to you because they like the experience. I think my clients really like that I send them cookies and treats in the mail just for reaching random milestones in their application. But again, everybody is different. Right. But if you create a process that people want to be around, they're going to come back again and again. If you make it easy, the easier you can make it every year, it should get easier. It shouldn't get harder. But you should make it easier and easier for your clients to the point where they click a button and then they are already signed up with your system. They just click the button I feel so empowered by this one play on YouTube. I'm ready. I just pay you the money from the YouTube video. It should take one click at some point for your client to get to you. That's it. Maybe two. But one click and they ready. And if your videos and your content ain't putting it out there, then you need to improve those items so that you can get to that client. Anybody else ready for an elevator pitch? All right, going once.
Oh, that one.
Okay, go ahead, LP.
Are you familiar with anybody who works with youth and young adults?
I am.
Especially urban and inner city children?
Yes.
Okay. I have a business in which we assist urban and inner city children, and we actually train teachers, coaches, and leaders on how to more effectively communicate with urban and inner city children. What are your thoughts on that, and would that be anything that you would be interested in?
Okay. Don't ask the first of the last question, just anything that you'd be interested in. Your point is to get them to answer 3 questions with a yes. So if you ask that last part, take that, that's great, but you're trying to sell it. It's a sales pitch. So you got everything else great, but don't ask that, what are your thoughts? It gives them too much room to walk away. So you don't want to give them no room to walk away and no room to think about it. If they think too long, they ain't going to make a decision. You want them to think about your goal. So if you ask them what they thoughts on, they probably got 85 thoughts on the day, but you only got one elevator ride to pitch. So that was a very well drafted because 3 yes questions. Chicago, the only thing that was missing from you was that first question is hit or miss, right? So you got to get a yes question. You get them to say yes 3 times, they more than likely going to say yes when you say, well, I'll take the payments right now, you know, just pay me the money. And they ready to pay you the money by the time they done said yes. Yes. You ever had those motivations? Are you ready to level up? Yes. Are you ready? They set it up every time they send you up. They finna sell you something right after that, right? But they trying to set you up to feeling good, because if you answer 3 questions yes, that means they're reading your mind. They are reading your mind. That means they're taking the time to do the customer market research, and that's what we're going to talk about when we get into this deal sourcing and pitching, to actually pitch the client. And if you do the market research, if you ask about the pain points when you're trying to pitch your product, creating surveys and things like that, and making people take the survey. Every time someone messages our business or our brand, I send them an Airtable survey. Oh, well, thank you for messaging us in 2022. We hope to create content that works for you. Please fill out this survey to help us create better content. You ain't got to do much. I promise you, it's just about you making an effort to get to know your target consumer. If you're not doing it because you just be putting stuff online. What's up?
Isn't it always about making money? Because no matter who you pitch to, it's about making money for yourself and them. But even if you go to a bank, the bank deals with money. But no matter what you're pitching, if it doesn't get a return on its investment, as far as your business or doing business with them, isn't it like a waste of time?
Not necessarily.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you the lawyer answer. It depends, right? Everyone has different priorities. A lot of my clients, that priority is, NEENA, I do not want to do this. I'm pretty sure you can teach me, but I would rather you do it for me. That reduces every bit of time I have to spend doing this trademark application. Please help me. There are people that want to reduce their risk. Yes, I can do it myself, and I see how I could do it online with a virtual service, but there's too many risks. I might get sued. These things, people want reduced risk. They also want you to make it easy, right? If you make it easy for them, then they have the process. It's difficult, and you to make it easy, they want solutions. How many of y'all love when Google Forms was created so you didn't have to fill out the Google Sheet no more? Or the Excel spreadsheet. Every time they created a form, they created something that optimizes the solution. So the goal can be, right, make me money, or it could also be save me money. Right? What am I spending money on right now that I should be spending money on? And you can help me do that. So that's the thing with trademarks. I tell people, I said, you end up spending what you want to spend with me anyways by the time you go through the legal Zoom process, because they're going to charge you every step of the way. And the reason why is because when you make mistakes in the application, they charge you. When you make mistakes in the application and I do it, I make a mistake, right? I'ma own up to it and fix it, and I'm not gonna charge you. If they make a mistake because you put the wrong information in, they're gonna charge you every single time for everything. And to talk to an attorney, it's about $900 per hour to talk to some of their attorneys. It's about $300 per hour to talk to their attorneys. And on top of that, they put in their disclaimer, and when they file your trademark, that you're the person who's responsible if this thing blows up, not LegalZoom, and they're not taking any responsibility because they're not your attorney. So you are literally putting your hands and face in a computer you've never seen or talked to. So that's the thing. I tell my clients, look, you do what you want. When people tell me, like, me, the prices of legal, look, I can't compete with LegalZoom, and I'm not going to. We're not in the same level, okay? We on a different level. I'm on a different level. And that's the way you got to think about your business. When you're thinking about value you can offer, I offer value every time I do one of these. Every single time, because there's information out there that people need, and if they just got the education, they could do it. One girl, she actually did go to my very first master class back in 2020, okay? I did a Best Kept Secrets and LLC Formation master class. Finally, in 2021, she actually went back and reviewed the master class because she did a Google review that day. Y'all can find it on the NEENA SPEER law firm, Google my business page. But then she went back and did another one, because we asked her if she would like to give it a review because her business has been thriving ever since. She took my LLC formation masterclass information I gave her, went and formed her PLLC. I didn't do it. I didn't tell her how to do it. I just told her the options. I told her good information about what to do before she formed it. She formed it as a thriving chiropractic practice right now in another state, and all she did was go to a free educational event that I put online on YouTube. I kid you not. People want value, and when you deliver value, they come back. And what she told me in the presentation was, I delivered $5,000 worth of value with the presentation, and then on top of that, I stayed for question and answers, so that was another $5,000 of value that I delivered afterwards. So if you are delivering value, it don't matter if you make them money. It really don't. Eventually, they'll make themselves some money. You want to figure out their pain point and solve it. If their pain point isn't they worried about money, then they ain't gonna help. If they worried about trying to figure out how to solve time, they created some things like Fiverr and other things that will give you an assistant so you don't have to do all this by yourself, right? They give solutions to problems that people are having. So that's not the only way, but it is one way for people to be moved by your pitch. All right, so we get past this, so I ain't hear nobody else's. But why would somebody invest in your business in the first place is the question I want you to ask, right? And this is what you can put in your notes on your phone. But why would someone want to invest in your business? And if you can tell me your best guess, okay, then I will definitely give you a discounted workshop and be able to access it. Also give the best of overall today engagement and free gifts. I will not tell you what the free gift is. You're competing for something. I don't know what you're competing for until the end, okay? So, y'all figure out that brand story, but this is your assignment. It's your canvas. This is what I explained to a bunch of kids. I kid you not. If I explained it to some high school boys who really didn't want to pay attention, I said, look, if you don't want to be here, it's okay, you can leave. They set their butts back on down and set in, and we ended up planning out the idea for a pitch for a homeless community rehabilitation center based off of this one young man having an idea and a pitch. So this canvas, if you'll scan that QR code that's on the screen in front of you, if you can't scan it, that's okay. I broke it out on the presentation in front of you. You need to actually be working on this canvas. The first thing is the key partners in your business. If you're not partnering with nobody in the community, as you guys can see, the Birmingham Black Economic Alliance is partnering with 2 key partners in the community, myself and LP Like Paul. That's 2 people they can list when they do a grant application or a pitch application. Oh, we partner with NEENA SPEER. We partner with LP Like Paul to deliver our speaker series. This is your key partners, people who will work with you every single time and time again, that you can use in grant applications. I work for Better Basics, teaching financial literacy in 2 Fairfield schools, one the elementary school and the other the high school. And they have told me if I ever do a grant application to list them because that is them. They have a wider reach. They get grant money out the wazoo. They told me to list them as a community partner. That's what I mean by community partners. People who are okay with you listing them on grant applications when they're trying to get some money, okay? Because you're going to include them. Don't just be putting people on your applications and not giving them their flowers, okay? I always get grant money and then I give it back to the people that give back to me. So that's important. The other thing is the key activities of your business. What do you do, right, in your business? The next one is your value. This is the one-liner, 1 to 2 liners of what value you offer in your business, okay? So I solved the problem of kids not having enough positive role models in front of them in schools by creating school supplies for kids of color, right? Simple, right? Sounds easy, but it's very hard to craft that. That took me about 3 days of work, full days of work, back and forth, going back and forth with my black upstart business accelerator teacher, talking about some, look, I can't just pitch to nonprofit like I mentor kids. Like, it's cool, but people do that for free. So what are people going to invest in you that you're doing that's different? And when I came up with the school supply, she's like, oh, it's not that many people out there doing that, putting out school supplies, putting it out as a big recognized business. So there's an interest in that. There's an opportunity for that, and people are willing to pay money for that. So when you think about your business like that, that's your value. It's what you offer. And if you know what it is, you can sell it to anybody, right? The other things that you guys have are the customer relationships, your customer segments, which is your target market. I like to think of this as your 40 items about your customer that is an ideal customer, and that's a particular customer you are tailoring all of your content to. My ideal customer likes to go to Starbucks, loves Target, not Walmart. They like long walks on the beach. I'm just kidding. But y'all get what I'm saying. They have specific industries that they are in, specific areas, and that's what I'm going to be. So I'm going to be at Target trying to do some type of partnership with them. I'm going to try to figure out how to get in Starbucks. All the places that your customer might be, you should be. All the things that your customer might value, you should value. And you can base your target customer off of you. If you're trying to pitch another you, well then maybe you should do a target market analysis on yourself. Okay? 40 characteristics that identify you. And if somebody marketed it to you that way, you would feel like buying stuff. Okay? What makes you buy that thing? When you scroll on Instagram and they get you for yet another ad for something that you don't need, but it's only $15 and you can get it today. What is it? And whatever it is that you offer, make sure that you're putting that type of client that you're pitching to. All right? The other thing that I want you guys to list out is your key resources and your channels. Your key resources are kind of where you get all your stuff from. If you're in leisure wear, who's your supplier? What you doing with the supply? How much is the money? What is it? Can you reduce the cost anywhere? All those things are going to help you later on. And then your channel or how you get the information out there. Social media, you sell it from your TikTok page because you're a TikTok influencer. I don't know. But whatever you do to get it out there, you need to know. You have to put that in all of your pitch presentations. And all these things I have listed, y'all, you put a slide with each of these titles on there and answer the question. Slide, answer the question. And if you actually need a template after this, I will tell you how to get the template, access the template. I'll create a customized discounted link just for you guys for free. I want you to have the information, so I really don't care about giving it to you for free because I want you to be able to access it so you can get to the level that we're going to, okay? But get the pitch deck, get the template, put the information in, follow suit, send it to people and ask them if they think it's a good pitch. There are people that will actually review your pitch. If you need those, I will tell you those afterwards, but there is a free one here that actually helps women-owned businesses. And I believe they're not, opposed to helping men as well, but there is one here right now called the title is Women's and Entrepreneurship Center. Literally, if you go, they will help you, the business advising, they will give you these canvases and work with you on them and show you how to fill them out. They will show you how to apply for 8A certification. All of this, they will do for you. You just have to make the effort to put this together for your business, okay? So your canvas, your idea is really big. And then pitch your business, okay? This is where you do your own due diligence analysis. What can you deliver on? What have you delivered on? What money do people already invest in you? Do you make profit every year? Or are you just trying to balance your books so it come out to zero so you ain't got to pay the IRS nothing? Be honest. I'm just telling you like it is because I've been there, okay? I'm not telling you because I don't know. I've been right there with you, okay? You got to make profit at some point, and then you have to start putting money away for taxes. And you can't just keep on avoiding the IRS bug, trying to balance everything out, and all the pluses and the minuses are equal, so it's all zero. At some point, it should all be positive, and your negatives should be decreasing over time if you need it. But then you should also have a lot more elevation as you go. So you'll have the money and the planning, right, financial planning, to put money aside for taxes. $10,000 away from taxes, it should be no problem. If you ain't got it, okay, cool. That's where you need to move. You need to get to a point where you can put money away for taxes. You need to get to a point where you can put money away for a rainy day. You need to get to a point where you can put money away for another pandemic. Okay, so y'all saw we struggle, but we don't need to beg the government for money. We can create our own wealth.
That's right.
All right, closing the deal. Right, the missing part. This is the only other part that's missing from the presentation, is that you don't ask questions. You don't ask questions to your investors. You don't even ask them what they're looking for. You don't ask them what information they need, and you don't make sure you follow up if you get rejected. You just be like, thank you for your time, F you too, and I'm gonna go find somebody who will give me some money. You got to ask questions. Every time you're rejected from a job, every time you're rejected from anything, ask questions, okay? And then you also need to schedule a review, right? Schedule a review with your actual person. If they say, I'm ready to invest with you, you close the deal. You put them on your calendar. Hey, I got some time on Friday at 2 p.m. Can you make time so we can discuss this, proposal so everything can be finalized? Make the investor want to give you the money. Don't make it hard for them to get money to you. Oh yeah, well, I was going to invest with NEENA, but I couldn't figure out how to get to her money. I didn't know how to give her the money. I didn't know what the terms were. You don't want your investor being confused, and then make sure you finalize and get the money. Okay? And then remember, whatever you promise in the proposal, you must deliver on. It goes back to your ethics. You can't take people's money and not deliver on what you told them. Told them that you were going to give them an advertisement slide and all your shit. You better give them an advertisement slide and all your stuff, okay? You can't, I'm going to make it real small. You said it was going to be this big on all the stuff. I don't care if it's tacky. That's what you said. So be honest to what you said, and you can close the deals a lot easier, right? The major takeaways from today, I hope, right, are that you get a trademark attorney. You don't have to get me. I got plenty. I refer you. We work nationally. It's a national type thing, so you can work with a trademark attorney in any state as long as they're doing your registration. Now, if you're doing some litigation, you got to focus on that state. But get you a trademark attorney. The second thing I want you to do is get your trademark or your pitch brand story. You're going to trademark it, figure out what your pitch is, so that when you do trademark it, everything will be built in there.